Hello YouTube. The OnePlus Nord was a huge success in 2020. So much it became the most sold OnePlus smartphone in Europe. My new smartphone is the OnePlus Nord 2, and that's my review. Let's get started. The flagship killer. Everything you could ever want. That's what OnePlus promises for €399. But is that true? Let's start with the most obvious things, the exterior.
The front and back are covered with Gorilla Glass 5, a very strong and scratch-resistant glass. The screen, the back panel and the camera element feel really high quality. Only the plastic frame is an exception. On the right side there is the power button and the typical alert slider. On the left side there is the volume rocker. And honestly, these buttons feel really nice to press. The smartphone is very smooth and there is only a noticeable seam at the top and bottom. Sadly, you won't find a headphone jack. It comes with a pre-installed protective film which is made of plastic. Anyways, I would recommend buying an extra case. The display is a 6.4-inch Full HD Plus OLED panel with just a small punch hole for the selfie camera. It has a refresh rate of 90 Hz, which makes it very smooth. And it has an in-display fingerprint sensor, which is quite fast and reliable. It gets very bright, has HDR and a perfect black thanks to the OLED. The interface, Oxygen OS, is minimalistic and beautiful, and works so perfect it disappears into the background. It also has phenomenal stereo speakers, of which the second one is integrated into the earpiece.
The smartphone is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 1200 AI octa-core processor. Never heard of it? Me neither, but it's very good and it's a flagship processor. As you can see in the benchmarks, it's better than last year's Galaxy flagships. And I could even play Genshin Impact with epic graphics and 60 frames per second. My version has 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage, more than enough for me. The 4500 mAh battery lasts for 1 or 2 days, but that's not its supreme discipline. It charges with 65 watts of fast charging, and that is even included in the box. It charges from 20 to 80% in 16 minutes, which is what you should do to spare your battery. Warp Charge 65 is impressive. But now to the most interesting thing of this phone, the camera.
The camera setup starts with a 2-megapixel monochrome camera, which is pretty much useless, but it's looking good next to the dual LED flash. Then we have an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, which isn't super good, but sometimes nice for a different angle. But now to the main camera. It's a 50-megapixel Sony IMX766 sensor with optical image stabilization, of which I can say everything you're gonna shoot with it is gonna be pretty good. A bit like what you think about the Pixel 5, an everyday but not enthusiast camera. The pictures are super sharp, and with 2x digital zoom, you still get an image you won't even notice its lower quality. Videos are possible with up to 4K and 60 FPS. They look better than average, but you notice the difference to a flagship. The front camera has 32 megapixels and is good.
The OnePlus Nord 2 is an excellent everyday smartphone. Premium specs, simplified by the great software. The plastic frame, no headphone jack, the missing IP rating, and pre-installed apps you can't deactivate distinguishes it from a real flagship. That doesn't make it a flagship killer, but a very good smartphone. Very good mid-range smartphone for everyone.